Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Business, Finance, and Justice Committee. Today is June 17, 2021. The time is 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Next on our agenda, invocation. I'd like to ask Representative Patrick Freeman to please say our invocation. Representative Freeman. Roll call. Legislative Clerk April Lindsay.
Patrick Freeman. Robert Huft.
Present.
Adam Jones. William Lowe.
Here.
Chairman, you got 4 present and 0 absent. 4
present, 0 absent. This constitutes a quorum. Therefore, any business transacted will be valid. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes for May 13, 2021. Committee, please review your minutes at your leisure. I will take a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Representative Robert Huff makes a motion to approve the minutes. Seconded by Representative Patrick Freeman. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman. Yes. Chairman, you got 3 in favor and 0 against.
3 in favor, 0 against. The minutes from May 13, 2021 are approved. Order of business. NCA 21-065, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of the Native CDFI Small Business Support Grant Program funds from Oista Corporation for the benefit of the Muskogee Loan Fund. Sponsor is Representative Adam Jones III.
Thank you, Speaker. Motion due pass.
Representative Adam Jones makes a motion for due pass. Seconded by Representative Pat Freeman. Discussion.
Thank you, Chair. Can we let Chris Coburn speak about this just for a couple minutes?
Yes, sir. Chris Coburn. Just make sure that microphone's on, please, sir, and speak into it so our folks on Zoom land can hear you, sir.
The green light's on. I think I'm on. Okay.
Good deal.
All right. So this is a small grant. Oista Corporation is a native CDFI national intermediary. They got some pass-through grants from federal partners and other private foundations. And so they kicked out to native CDFIs, knowing that we had a lot of extra demand for services. So this is unrestricted. We had a revised document attached from the CFO. We've had the funds for a while, but we're looking at using them for a different purpose before we brought them to council. Now we've gotten that revised, so we're going to use that to augment our contractual budget for this fiscal year, and that's what we need the funds for.
Committee, do you have any questions for Mr. Coburn? Sponsor, any more discussion?
No, thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate it. Roll call vote, please.
Adam Jones.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman. Yes. Robert Huft.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 3 in favor and 0 against.
3 in favor, 0 against. NCA 21-065 passes. NCA 21-069. A law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the budget modification in excess of 10% for the Muskogee Creek Nation Office of the Attorney General. Sponsor is Representative Adam Jones III.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to make a motion for
Representative Adam Jones.
Substitute number 2.
Makes a motion for due pass substitute number 2. Seconded by Representative Robert Huft. Discussion.
Yeah, give some time to AG if we can, please.
Attorney General, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Lowe, and I want to thank Adam Jones for sponsoring this legislation and Alicia for cleaning up the mess I made out of the legislation. She fixed it, and that's why we have a substitute.
Great.
I appreciate the work. This is to get us through the year, essentially. I want to give you some numbers. In the year before the McGirt case was decided last July, our office filed 63 felonies and misdemeanors combined in 1 year. That's about 5 a month. And from July 2020 to this month currently, we filed over 1,800 felonies and misdemeanors. That's over 150 a month. We filed more in 2 weeks in the past year than we filed in all of the year before that. To accomplish that, we had to hire a lot of people. We hired 6 new secretaries and record clerks, 5 new prosecutors, and a criminal investigator. And with those new hires, we need lots more supplies. They all need computers, they need telephones, they need everything that goes with an office. And because of that, we ran tight on money this year. As long as I've been the AG, I've never come to the council and asked for a budget, supplementary budget, but obviously these are different times. The controller called me earlier this week, Clay Darnell, and reminded me that back, you'll probably all remember in January of 2020, I came to the council and asked for $500,000 to pay for legal counsel on the gaming lawsuit. And it turned out Kyle Haskins in my office and I ended up doing all the work for the nation in that case, so we didn't have to pay any outside attorneys. Mr. Darnell said we still have that $500,000 in our budget. So this $529,000, we just ask you to let us transfer that $500,000 to operate under, and then ask for the additional $29,999 to be made up. But that's why we're asking for the money. I think it's necessary, and I'm really proud of the work that our staff has done. They are the unsung heroes in all of this. A lot of people want to take credit for it. They're actually doing the work. Right. So that's all I have.
All right. Committee, do we have any questions or comments for Attorney General? Sponsor,
KG.
Any more discussion? Good.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Adam Jones,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 3 in favor and 0 against.
3 in favor, 0 against. NCA 21-069 passes. NCA 21-070. Oh, excuse me. Controller, we get a funding source, please, before we move on.
Yes, Chairman, funding's available for this NCA from the Interest on Permanent Fund.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, April. Next item on the agenda, NCA 21-070, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing a supplemental appropriation to the Muskogee Creek Nation Light Horse Police Department for fiscal year 2021. Sponsor is Speaker Randall Hicks.
Motion due pass.
Representative Adam Jones makes a motion for due pass,
Second.
seconded by Representative Robert Huft. Discussion. Sponsor, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Lowe. Chairman Lowe, at this time, I'd like to ask Captain Richard Phillips and his staff to come down, please, to
Yes,
address
sir.
any questions. I do have some questions for him as well.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir. Good evening, folks.
BF&J Committee.
Yes, sir. All right. do we
Questions?
Go ahead and start with
Okay.
questions. Speaker Hicks.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Captain Phillips, staff. Captain Phillips, since the McGirt ruling, how much has the monthly fees and costs increased? How much were you paying? Basically, how much were you paying? And then when the McGirt ruling hit, what did it jump up to?
Before McGirt, the top end was about
Can you?
14,000.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can you?
Yeah, just speak into the microphone, please.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're all right.
So pre-McGirt, the top end of monthly fees for inmate housing was about $14,000 at Okmulgee County. Now we are using 3 different jails throughout the nation. We have contracts with 5. The 3 of them are billing, and the largest bill that we've seen for 1 month of inmate housing is $203,000 plus per month, and that's just one jail, just 1 month. So you should have a packet there where you can see the monthly charges for each.
Okay. Thank you. This might be a dumb question, but why are we paying these costs? What is our state taxes for?
That's exactly what I have to say about it. I mean, I wonder who's going to help us pay for all that. I know I posed that question to my administrative staff, and we've asked, well, we've wondered that I've wondered that myself. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I want to say something. As you heard the Attorney General talk about their increases, we've also had increases. I mean, we have 5 jail contracts. We have increased arrest. So, I mean, as you can see, everything is increasing. And he said unusual times, and this is it.
I understand that, but I'm looking at just as a U.S. citizen, I pay state taxes, just like any other citizen out there. They're not being charged double as we are. That's how I see it. I see it as we're being charged double. I'm being charged as a U.S. citizen, then I'm being charged as a Native American to pay these taxes as well, or these fees. So help me understand why we are doing this.
We're viewed, pardon me, we're viewed as any other agency, a federal agency. So the FBI will pay a cost. The Federal Bureaus of Prisons, when they transport and they use, say, Oklahoma County, they're charged a price. ICE, immigration, they're charged a price. So that's how we're viewed as a outside entity. Is that the perfect answer? That no, but that's the one that we've always utilized. So, and I agree with you also. But I mean, again, we're a sovereign nation. So with that, that's how they view us, and that's why we get charged.
Okay. One last question. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Other sources view us as a cash cow. You know, they say it's Creek Nation, so they try to mark everything up on anything.
On our jail contract through Tulsa County, though, we are tied into the Fed rate. So we are paying the same as the U.S. Marshals. So anytime they have an increase, we have an increase as well. That is not negotiated separately from that Fed rate.
If it's $75.
And that's our most expensive
Okay.
jail.
So since the McGirt ruling and the increase that we've started paying, how much have we paid to these facilities? Because you're requesting almost $1 million for the remaining fiscal year.
Yeah, we worked with McKay Hale in finance, and he actually worked with us on this. On the packet, you should have seen it, the first page. He worked with us on figuring out the cost of the jails for the entire year. So with his help, we came up with this number. I haven't seen this one, so I don't.
So it's just I didn't add it all up, but just looking at it, it's over $1 million that we've already paid.
Right. It looks like on this, I'm sorry, was I interrupting someone? It looks like on this paper here that to date we've paid $2,344,935. It's on the back side of the 11 by 17 is where the totals are. This cost has just went up as we go. So at the very beginning, the bills were a little bit smaller just because the inmates that they were charging us for were less. But as they became our court cases, they became our inmates, to my understanding. And so we've been paying for that. And then we also have, you'll see some medical. I believe it's Creek County charges us also medical if they have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a nominal fee compared to this $2 million, though.
Thank you.
Chairman, how many questions can I ask?
Go for it, Speaker.
Okay.
We need to visit about this.
Okay. Just on the spreadsheet, or not the spreadsheet, but the letter cover here that you came from your department, the request for the 9947. How did you come up with that number?
That was a projected total from the monthly averages.
Oh, yeah.
And McKay Hale helped us with that in finance.
Okay, because I just used the numbers that you had in here. For 3 jails, you had a monthly expense of 195.99.
For the whole year.
Okay, got you. So this question may be for Chief or somebody else. Since the ruling, if we've already spent over $1 million, where are we as far as building our own jail? Because now you're asking for almost another $1 million, and we're looking at $2 million. How much is the cost of a new jail? And then what are we doing to recoup the money that we're spending?
Mr. Wayne, can you speak into the microphone, please, sir? Just so our Zoom folks can hear. Thank you, sir.
My apologies, sir.
Oh, you're fine.
So the monies are supposed to be recouped through the fines and cost. So as someone who's been in jail, as they pay their fines to the court, those are supposed to come back to Lighthorse in a, what's that fund called? Program fund.
Okay.
Speaker, just really quick, and Chief Phillips. So we're saying we've already spent almost 2.5 million to date, correct? Or am I reading that wrong? Is that what we just discussed earlier?
Yeah.
The number on the back?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm good.
Any more questions from the committee? Yes, Representative Huff.
This is a county jail, right? Or is it city jail? This county, Tulsa County?
Yes.
Does county charge the city of Tulsa a charge for the prisoners also? Do you know?
Yes.
If we don't pass this budget today, what will happen with the prisoners that we have? What will they do with them?
Can you repeat your question?
I said if we don't pass this budget today, what will you guys do, or what will the jails do when they house our prisoners anymore? Or they just let them go, or what?
No, they will let them go.
Huh?
They'll let them go.
They will release them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Representative Freeman?
So you just mentioned your program fund account. What is the status of that account now?
At this time, we don't know.
I can't hear
We
you.
don't know at this time.
You don't know what the status of that account is?
There's 115,000 in there right now.
Mm-hmm. Representative Freeman, you good to go?
Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry. Chair.
Representative McHenry?
Yes, there was the word recoup through fines and court costs. I heard you say that. Is that happening now? I heard your answer was supposed to be happening, but is that happening now?
On occasion, I say that simply because if we're having to arrest someone who's homeless, the chance of us recouping any of that is nil. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there are those that will actually come in and pay their fines. But then again, there's those that again, homeless, maybe they're just passing through, that, other than issuing a warrant for them, I don't know any other way of getting those funds.
So those that are being, excuse me, Mike.
Oh, by all means.
So those that are being arrested and they say have fines, you pay $250. when they say that and state that and say, Charles McHenry, you owe $250 in fines, I pay that to the Muskogee Creek Nation Light Horse Police Department?
No, sir, because just like on the state side, when you receive a speeding ticket, that every bit of that money on that speeding ticket is broken down into different and going to different entities. So our fines are the same way. So just because you're paying $250 ticket, that whole thing does not come to Creek Nation. It's actually broken down between the court, and that's something that you would have to ask them how that is broken down. So I don't know what the percentage of that coming back to us would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the state side, a percentage of that law enforcement academy, I guess funneled from there to different areas. That's broken down. How they break it down. But you are getting a percentage of it.
When we do get it, yes. But there again, if we arrest somebody that's unemployed or homeless, then they have a warrant for a reason because they didn't pay their fine.
All right.
You good to go, Representative McHenry?
I would like to ask another question.
Yes, sir.
If it's okay, how do our prices or the prices compare across the board? Is it the same for Tulsa County, Ocmulgee County, and Creek County as far as it costs to house an inmate per inmate, or does it differ and vary?
So in Tulsa County, you're dealing with, we're getting paid, and mind you, these contracts, we don't set that. That's negotiated between that entity and our Attorney General's office. So whatever they're paying is agreed upon between those entities. So in Tulsa County, we were paying $75, which is the federal rate. But in Muskogee County, I think we're only paying like $44 or something around that. So again, that's not negotiated by Light Horse.
Chief Phillips, I have a question for you, sir. So back to the recoup of the fines. Do you actually have a business office that could actually track all the folks who, let's say they're homeless and are unable to, let's say they're cash poor, unable to pay their fines back to us? To me, you still have to track that as a revenue loss. Are you all doing that currently? No, not at all? Okay.
That would be on the court system, but since they set the bails and fines and so forth, we don't have any control over that. So who pays what, we don't know, because all that stays within the court system. So we're not sure. Again, going back to the $250 fine, we don't know how much we're going to recoup of that.
I see.
So again,
Appreciate
that's the
it.
accounting
Great.
from court.
Okay, well, I misunderstood. I appreciate you. Any more comments, questions? Representative Randolph, come on down.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
When they're arrested, is it just our citizens that we're paying for, or is it any Native American person?
Right now, we're paying for all Native American citizens. I mean, they're Native and they do have proof that they are Native, be it Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, Cherokee. We take them to jail because as such, they're Coweta, all our bigger agencies, they're coming across all tribes. So, and once they go in, then it does befall us.
And so are the other nations in the same predicament we're in? And then they pay for our citizens if we're in their area? Okay.
I want to say yes because Chief Shannon Buell with the police chief, Chief Shannon Buell with the Cherokee Nation Marshals, he stated the same thing. Okay. So he said that they're having to foot the bill, and he said he didn't see how we're doing.
Whatever. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Representative Jones.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, sir.
So my question is, who does the negotiations with the jails? Is it you guys, or is it Attorney General? Attorney General, can you come down, please? Thank you, AG. So the question is, for me, is how do you negotiate that where you have an even number to figure out what's fair to Muskogee Creek Nation? Because, everybody wants to set a certain number, something different for themselves. It's really not fair to us. So, what do you do to negotiate that? And then secondly, your thoughts on building a new jail, because I think we all think we need that, and I think that's with the chief and all the council to see that that's priority for us. So, your thoughts?
Well, we negotiated by trying to get the best deal we can. Some counties are a lot more agreeable than others. Tulsa is very disagreeable. They have the highest rates, and they treat our inmates in the most poor manner. They're not good at releasing them when they should release them, and they they hold them when they shouldn't. Well, it's pretty much the same thing I just said, but that's really how it's done. There's no set standard way to do it, and as Chief Phillips just said, each county seems to charge a different rate. And we had Okmulgee County wanting us to pay a flat fee of 1.2 million for the entire year, no matter how many inmates we had. So we don't have a jail agreement with them. My thoughts on building our own jail is that we need our own jail if we're going to continue doing this, because we can't afford to continue paying these prices. It's short-sighted to think we should pay $3 million every year when I don't know what a jail would cost. Last figure I saw, it depends on how big you want it, but I've seen anywhere from $25 to $100 million. And then the operating costs are the real expense, because you have to have doctors, you have to have guards, you've got to have counselors, all sorts of support staff, medical, in that jail. So we need a jail if we're going to be serious about doing this, because we're at the mercy of these counties who can they've got us over a barrel and they know it. And so they can command high prices, and we don't really have much option. We can't let anybody loose, because if we do that, we're playing right into the hands of Governor Stitt, who says McGirt is such a disaster. And it would be if we let everybody free. So we have to pay these jail fees, and until then, and I hope we start the process of building our own jail within the next couple of months. I hope we get serious about doing that, because we really need it.
Yes, sir, I agree.
I think, I agree. That's probably one of the most priority things we go after, and also prioritize that. How many inmates do we need to figure for? I mean, do you need a jail that's going to hold 300, 400, 200?
They're telling me 150 at least. And that sounds about right to me.
Because we need
that
to
goes
know
along
that
with the 150 per month cases that we're filing. So that's consistent with those two numbers.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Daniel.
150 bed facility is going to fill up fast. We're always looking at ways how would we pay it, because I worked I worked here in Okmulgee County Jail when it first opened up. It's expensive. So where do you generate funding for that? You build you a $250 or 250 bed facility and charge ICE, charge ATF, charge other entities that bed space, just like we get charged, and they'll pay it. So there's part of that solution.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Outstanding. Any more comments, questions?
Chairman Lowe.
Yes, Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Wiley just he mentioned something that just making me go off of what his comment was, and it was in reference to Tulsa. Their county or their jail not working or cooperating with us. And it's just making me wonder, how many times has the mayor or chamber came to Creek Nation and asking for funding? Yet now they're treating our people like this, as A.G. Wiley said. They treat our people horrible. Like I said, that just went all over me, because I know they've come down here asking for the council or the tribe for some funding, not just once, many a time. So anyway, my last question. You mentioned that we pay for other tribes that are incarcerated, correct? Do we bill them? Do we turn around and bill the other tribes?
We do not, but then again, if we do that, then that opens another can of worms. If we got other tribes take our prisoners, then we're still going to end up paying there. What I mean, it's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And we're paying for other tribes here, but I mean, other tribes are getting our citizens as well.
Okay. And I apologize if I do sound harsh to you guys. I'm not trying to be, but this is a very, very touchy subject, and it's a lot of money that we've been shelling out, and it's not your fault, not our fault. It's something that needed to be done. I mean, according to the McGirt ruling, so I can't penalize you for it, but it's just something that we inherited. So anyway, like I said, I didn't mean to sound harsh, but I don't know. It's aggravating because I feel like $2 million, we could already have a start on the new jail. So anyway, thank you, Chairman.
Well, no, Speaker, I just for clarification, that is the Tulsa County Jail versus the city jail, Speaker, just letting you know.
Yes, sir.
Representative Jennings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Wiley or Mr. Chief Phillip, either one, Okmulgee is not a county jail. It's run by an authority, correct? They built the two new jails, not with county funds, but with private funds too. And that's why they're trying to charge us as much as they can. That's the whole thing about it, you know. It's not a county ran jail. It's an authority. Is that not correct, Mr. Wynn? You worked there.
That is correct. They are run by the Criminal Justice Authority of Okmulgee. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any last comments, questions? Going once. Outstanding. Chief Phillips, thank you. Thank you all for being here this evening. Appreciate it.
Committee.
Roll call vote, please.
Adam Jones,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 3 in favor and 0 against.
3 in favor, 0 against. NCA 21-070 passes. Next item on the agenda is referred legislation, NCA 21-064. Controller, could we please get a funding source, sir?
Yes, Chairman, funds are available for this NCA from the Interest on Permanent Fund.
Funding source is interest on permanent fund. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, other business. Yeah, we just did it. Do I need to vote on that? Yeah, for that last legislation, we have the funding source, so we don't need to actually vote on it. Yeah, we do. Representative Robert Huff made a motion to accept the funding source for NCA 21-064. Seconded by
Chairman.
Representative Adam Jones.
Excuse me, Chairman.
Yes.
I apologize. I thought that I didn't hear the funding source requested for 21069, 21070, the one being discussed. So the funding source I gave you was for NCA 21070. That's the interest on permanent fund.
Very well. Yes, sir.
The funding source for NCA 21064 is the Economic Development and Land Acquisition Fund.
Economic Development and Land Acquisition Fund.
Yes, sir. I apologize.
Thank you, Clay. We appreciate that, sir. Motion is to approve the funding source. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
Adam Jones,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 3 in favor and 0 against.
3 in favor, 0 against. Funding source for NCA 21-064 passes. On to other business. We have the GOAB. Chairman Ray.
He'll probably go in executive session. So, Chair, I make a motion to let Muskogee Loan Fund go before.
Yeah, let's do that, Chairman Ray. We'll let the Muskogee Loan Fund, we'll give them 10 minutes. And Chris, we're going to hold you to 10 minutes, sir. All right.
It's all right. That's why I was asking you. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No, you're all right. I got one right here. Thanks. You might ask Phillips to stay if you have any other. I can call him or something.
So what you're looking at, this is kind of a hybrid. The board of Muskogee Loan Fund, which consists of 5 confirmed members, ex officio of Tara Branson, and Secretary of Nation for the Chief's Office, and also Adam Jones on this committee. They've seen this data, but basically what's here, I'm in a graduate program with Harvard, a leadership of nonprofits. And my leadership challenge is, how do I lead this better? So this is basically an update. So you can kick, I've changed the title of what we're doing to the Collective We and Muskogee Project, basically expanding our CDFI as smartly and fastly as we can to serve our citizens better. We've grown phenomenally, so there's a timeline here. I don't necessarily need to go over it, but it was a sparkle in someone's eye in 2013. It opened in 2014. Got certified, which is the highest standard of CDFIs, in 2014. Dropped down, there was a little bit of a blip, some growing pains, and we've rapidly expanded and improved the last 4 or 5 years. So there's data there that council and administration office can see. Second page or third page back, some data from our website. So early on, we had about 20-something loans when I came in, and our team came in. Now we're at about 630 loans and about 2.3 million deployed. And you guys got to know, we don't do big lending. Our biggest loans are 50,000. Most of them are under 10,000. So that's a lot of clients we're helping. There's a radial graph of how we want to expand and what our goal is. The aspirational goal we keep hearing from everyone is we need a depository institution of our own. So that either a credit union or a bank. So we're building this to get there. And so our goals from the end of this project is, expanding our capital by 3 times, doubling client services. So we help about 2,000 clients a year right now, which is about 300% over just 2 years ago. Pandemic, we went up in lending and in volume. We had clients calling us at all hours, and me all hours, from Alaska that were Creek citizens, or Hawaii, and they're like, how do I save my business? We coached them and connected them with money at no revenue at all hours, but we enjoyed last year. It was a great thing for our team. It was a great thing for our citizens. So if you flip forward further, some of the gains we need to make, and we need help. We need our staffing to grow so that we can provide more services. We need more support. I need to communicate better with leadership. So each one of you elected people has what you need so that you know where we're at and where we're trying to go for our citizens. And that's something I've been trying to change a great deal of strategy and communication in the last 3 or 4 months. So again, some of the challenges as far as where we need to go, how we need to grow our team, how we need to involve the board more, how we need to work with leadership more to get there. And then if you kind of flip past the map, I want to show you kind of a snapshot. We've created a financial dashboard so you can see trends. So you can look at, it looks like a spreadsheet if you all have that. We're basically growing and doing well. Just in 5 months when we had this done, we're nearly the lending of all last year, which was a record year. And then going beyond that, we're looking at about 2.3 million in loans deployed cumulative so far. So you can see some graphical representations of trends of Good things like fundraising going. Delinquency is right now, as of today, 1.3% on our portfolio, which is better than most banks and credit unions. Business loans, consumer loans, asset growth, cash deployed. And these are things I provide the board, and I'm going to keep providing the board each month. So the last page, or next to last page, is kind of where we need to talk about. This was going to be a PowerPoint with things animating. So look at the right side first. Basically, how I prefer to manage is that's a picture from the Cannonball Run with a stolen Lamborghini next to a cop car trying to chase it down. That's how I try to lead, my preferred style. That doesn't work here, so I've changed that because government doesn't move like that. So in reality, we're kind of like a rusty freight train pulling a heavy load of economic development. Not sexy, not exciting, but we're doing a good job. And what we're trying to get to is to be more of a bullet train, and we're asking leadership to show us your vision, and we can show you what we can do to meet needs, to help us build more track so we can go faster and serve more. So we've got the goal of a depository. Mathematically, if our trends hold, it will be possible in 3 years to start a committee to look at a depository, with maybe in 5 years of opening one.
Great.
Some of the upcoming projects we have, just yesterday, we got $340,000 approval from CDFI fund for rapid response cash for our CDFI, so that'll be lending capital, so that'll be coming to you as quickly as it makes it through. I think I can get the documents tomorrow and get those to Tara to get through the chief's office and process, so that may be next month. We're asking for support at some point in the future for a permanent location. We're looking at grant options and other options to open a Native American business center, which would hold the things that we do for our clients: small business services and agriculture, agribusiness services. We have the opportunity to expand into offering business services for veterans. It's been a vision of mine for a long time to have a small business incubator so some clients could rent space and we could coach them and watch them during the day and help them. And then dedicated classroom space, because as you know, around here, it's difficult. So I know we're almost out of time. And the last thing is just we're working with the tribe to identify a building and things to bring through that process to bring up to you later. So the State of the Muskogee Fund, if we were doing our little State of the Fund, we're doing awesome, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to grow more, and just like everything else around the tribe, everybody needs cash and they need options to grow. But the demand for our services on helping people understand economics, financial solutions, and banking where they're not taken advantage of is growing exponentially. And we hope to grow there too, because leadership, you made us. And we hope we're doing well. And if there's things we need to change, please let me know.
Thank you, Chris. This visuals, I really appreciate your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Do we
you.
have any comments, questions from the committee? Yes, sir. Representative Jones.
Thank you, Chair. I have to brag on Chris and the team, because it seems like when they first came in, it was upside down. A lot of bad loans and stuff from the previous actually administrator of the program. Chris has turned it around. They're helping a lot of citizens, and you can tell by the numbers how much it's grown. So
Thank you.
wanna give
Thank
him
you
a-
very much. And it's mostly my team. Once I got them trained and turned them loose, we
Good,
got fun.
Great.
Thank you.
Council representatives, anyone? Good to go? All right. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you being with us. Okay. Chairman Ray, we're going to let Miss Andrea Snowball from Big Fire give us a quick update. I know we keep pushing you back, and you're the only one listed on here, but we greatly appreciate your patience with us. Miss Andrea, can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Outstanding. The floor is yours, please.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Andy Snowball. I'm an attorney with Big Fire Law and Policy Group here in Winnebago, Nebraska. and I work with Lance Morgan and Leonica Charging on reservation protection matters for the nation coming out of the McGirt decision. Unfortunately, Lance had a prior commitment and is unable to make it today, and Leonica is traveling and has experienced some flight delays, so they sent me, so I'm happy to be here and provide a quick summary on our work. So over the past week or so, we haven't worked directly with the Muskogee Reservation Protection Commission, but we've worked on matters related to reservation protection with an emphasis on
Andy, could you hold on 1 second, please?
Sure.
Go to executive session.
Representative Robert Huff made a motion to go into executive session, second by Representative Patrick Freeman. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
Adam Jones,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 3 in favor and 0 against.
3 in favor, 0 against. We are now in executive session at 7:16 p.m. In looking at the participants in Zoom, they're good to go. Anyone that's Creek can stay in. I mean, yeah, I think we're all good to go. Everybody